Welcome to the channel. This is Reliable Rudy. Everything in this video contains only my opinion and is for entertainment purposes only. Simply just stating my opinion in this live stream, everyone. We had a lot of stop losses go get kicked in, but we have a lot of stop losses that are still holding. Right now we have the NQ futures right here. Now as you can see, looks pretty bearish. We're negative and trying to get some volume into this, but a lot of volume this morning. A lot of stuff was down. A lot of people taking a little bit of profit, but on a daily chart, see how we go positive just a little bit here. Anyone who got in right here, I would say you got until below this candle. That's below your moving average. That's below this candle. It still has a chance. You still have wick buyers right here. You still have people saying, hey, I like this volume that came into the market. Maybe this is a buying opportunity that we can take advantage of. But on a 15-minute chart, this is just going to need to slope up. So what I want to see it do, I want to see it hold above this low right here and trade sideways. Even if it wicks below that a little bit, that's fine. We just want to see that candle close above that price. And we want to see this eventually start building a U shape where we're talking about maybe even taking out this high candle. If we trade sideways in a range right here, and then eventually this turns out to be the breakout price. So NQ looks a little bit weak, but that doesn't mean that it's going to continue being that way. Volume is trying to pick in. This is a nice green candle right here that stays well. It's a full green engulfing candle of this previous red candle, so that's normally a good indicator that volume is trying to come into the stock market. Okay, so let's move on. Let's go talk about oil. Oil on a 15-minute chart catching a bid to the downside. Potential double top right here, full red engulfing candle. So but you can see showed really good strength throughout the night and this morning, and probably just going to need some consolidation. You're still elevated, positive. By all means, it can just trade sideways here, and who knows, it maybe starts building a U shape right here, and let's go test this downtrend again. You can see clear contact, a couple trading over that, but then tries the rest over top of it. I don't know if this is a 100% properly set downtrend, but we do have a nice channel that's corresponding right here. But you can see oil is still positive. Here is your dip buying. This looks almost identical to the Nasdaq, except the Nasdaq has two red candles looking down here. So oil still showing strength, and like I said, on a 15-minute chart, we're still elevated on a 15-minute interval. So I would expect buyers, and you can already see this wicking down, or this wick bottom right here. Even though it broke this EMA, you're still showing relative strength on the commodity channel. So I want to see this trade sideways and eventually try to take out this top, and let's test the downtrend of this channel that we have right here. But nice run, and we want to see it take out this high. More specifically, we thought that this was going to be a breakout point. A little bit of a false breakout right now. Now for a little bit more confirmation, you could wait for the breakout of this previous day. But I would say oil still looks fine. And the oil plays, some of the stocks might not look. We're going to go over the watch list here. But quickly, let's just go and see what the top movers are. Compass, stopped out of Compass. Open, stopped out of Open. I don't know if we're stopped out. I might have put it a little bit lower around this 143, but we don't like it giving up those quarters. Sometimes you just FOMO in a little bit. That's fine. Execute your stop losses. Mat X sold pretty much at the open. This is a pretty clear indicator. Gaps down below my moving average. We tried to squeak positive, and this is just one of those where, okay, maybe got faked out a little bit for a break of this channel, but this candle close was not very bullish. That is already telling you that there is not very much strength. If I went to a 15-minute chart right here, you can see set a bearish close. Here's your close from yesterday. We're negative, and this is the follow through. Roblox still holding 33, You know, we've already got good profits on roadblocks. So the way that I play my stop losses, this is already a play that we've been working with. We got entries down here at break at 30. And we've already taken profits. We've already talked about coming down to retrace and fill this gap. Now we're here. There's nothing to panic about right here. If you wanted to throw a stop loss in and you just couldn't take it, you know, you do have an open gap fill right here. Maybe give it a little bit below that gap, but then you're still, let's pull this up right here. Let's take a look at the commodities. We're still positive. So I didn't even see the need to throw a stop loss in Roblox because we have our profits. Mullen got stopped out at the 30 and just continuation down. We already had plenty of profits up here. Our entry was at 30 cents somewhere in this candle, and we took plenty of profits on Mullen. That's fine. HKD, I threw this on because, you know, it gapped up. It was on, a lot of people were talking about it. I said, okay, let's see what happens when it comes down and fills this gap. Never reached the gap, building a nice U shape, but gaps up. You would expect to see gap fill buyers. So I seen it was gapping up. I said, okay, let's throw it on a watch. If I can see this start to fill this gap, what happens? Gaps up, fills the gap immediately. No buying. No buying whatsoever. And now, if this wants, excuse me, if this wants to hold this level down here and start curling up, maybe it's a potential buy up here. I'm not interested right here. Because why? Because we have the gap fill to the downside. We go back to the daily chart, we still have this gap fill intact right here at 10 flat. So anyone that's looking short, they know that this is a possibility to get a flush down to 10. AT&F bearish, you know, it just needs to curl up, get volume, build a U-shape. Goes on a run, builds a U-shape. How many of them I showed like that for you? Tilray, probably got stopped out of Tilray. I think I put one in at 290. So there's a possibility that we didn't get stopped out. If this can set a close, you know, you want it to close above 3. But here's another one where, you know, going against your rules, going against what works for you, and it had a bearish close yesterday. You should have known right away that, you know, this trade's probably not going to work out. Had a nice 3 green candles, had a false breakout wick right here, but we never went positive. So that's just a learning experience right there for me. That, you know, sometimes if you really want to get that perfect entry, that you have to FOMO in a little bit. And this was a case scenario where we did. And another thing, we would have expected this 3 to hold because this is at previous high, showing relative weakness. We go to a 15-minute chart here. Let's just clear the chart. Yeah, way negative. We're negative right here. The exit on a position, and you know, you get a position and it just doesn't start working for you. Here's where you should be thinking about cutting it. Here's your flat bottom. Boom, 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 boom. Here it's trying to hold, flat bottom breakdown. It back tests the top of it, and then here's your flush. So good learning experience with Tilray. Maybe we'll be able to buy it later at a higher price. And that may be weird to some people that I'm saying buy it at a higher price, but you want to see the volume come into this and see if this can start forming a U shape. It is still on an uptrend, so maybe some people are giving it down to below this uptrend. You know, I got a lot on my plate at the moment, so I'm just not really focused on that. Smith and Weston, we said this is a lot of green, a lot of green. We did just eke positive, so we have maybe some FOMO and then some stop loss, but this is clear profit taking. You just look at this channel. Look at this channel that's been in. I want to see 950 hold. I want to see it probably retrace back down to 950. I want to see that hold, and let's see if it can actually go and test the downtrend. This is not testing the downtrend right here, in my opinion. UAL, profit taking. Look at this run. Goes on a run, builds a U shape. How much you want to bet this ends up trying to build some sort of U shape? WSM, anybody who FOMO'd into this, they're losing money. Gaps down, stop losses kick in. We're going negative. Not looking that great. Gap fill down to 116.78, and I'm sure that kind of meets in with an uptrend, so look for support to hold right in this range. But how many have I showed you? Goes on a run, builds a U shape. Maybe this is a trade for a later date around this 122. ASTS, we had the break of 5. We took multiple profit outs up here. You can see multiple profit outs, but it looked pretty good. Yesterday's candle, full red engulfing candle, already telling you, hey, potential gap down. Go to a 15-minute chart. I'm pretty sure we're getting stopped out of this. Potential gap fill, right? Nope, that's intraday gap up. I put a stop loss in somewhere on this. It's probably got filled. But we already had our multiple outs and we were okay with this. So I don't know if this was a flat trade, positive trade. I think my cost average was a little bit over that 5. But stopped out there. Lumen, some just aren't working for you. It already showed you the day before that. Didn't respect the uptrend. Go to a day chart. Why'd we cut it early? Boom, just gave up your moving average. No buying in this. We went negative, negative. Just maybe it's for a later date. Let's see if it can hold this support. You want it to be able to hold 5, and let's see if this can start curling up. Goes on a run, builds a U shape is what you'd think. Well, this one faked some people out for sure, I would say. AMD trying to hold this 67.50. Realistic stop below these wicks right here. It should have some decent support right there. Let's go to a 15-minute chart on AMD. Yeah, you'd want to see this hold because the more it starts looking like this, you get a back test at the start of this gap. If it shows weakness, there's your head and shoulders play. And you got a gap fill down here at 63. So let's maybe this is a time for a later date. It gapped completely down through the channel upward. It just needs volume. It looks like a short all day, and yeah, way elevated on the downside right here. So yeah, we just want to see volume come into some of these stocks. Okay, those were some of the big negatives right there. Let's switch it over to the positives. Now, this is a new stock that I've thrown on the watch list. I listened to an interview, CEO, very optimistic guy, and he had some really good points that he made. I'm not going to go over his entire interview, but uh, then I pulled up the stock and it's trading in this range right here. We are positive, positive, showing good strength in a red market. Yesterday was a red day for a lot of stocks, and this one did show relative strength. And even with this gap right here, it held above that gap. So breakout price, probably that 430. At 430, which is pretty damn close to where we're at. Let's go to a 15-minute chart and you can see the strength. There's your open. Now you just want to see this 427 hold. You want to see this 427 hold, and you're probably good for continuation to the upside. Breakout price, I said 430. The actual breakout price probably that 430, 450. Doesn't look that bad. Alibaba, respecting this channel, I was expecting the way that this closed, it was not able to give up this low. I said open price is going to be big. If it opens down, we could be seeing some consolidation back down to this gap at 107. So if I go and mark this, there's your gap at 107. But respecting this channel, relatively strong on the day. Let's see if volume can come into the stock. You can see the buying pressure. You're positive, positive at the start of the day. We go to a day chart, and not a half bad look. You're pretty elevated, well over positive on both, and we got a 120 gap fill for a potential extension. So we're looking for outs up here at 120. BTI, thought about taking a trade on this. Gaps up, has no strength to even start filling the gap, and it took out wicks high. I just said, let's go zoom out a little bit, look at the daily, and this is still I think that the shorts are in this. The shorts, this is the day you cross negative. Boom, gaps down below the trend line, and now you still got to fight back over top. So it has a lot of overhead resistance. It probably has decent support built in right here, but this looks like continuation to the downside. Let's see if it can go trade inside of this channel, continue the trade inside of this channel, and we will look for this on another date. MO. We said that this looks good down to the 40s, the low 40s. Gives up the trend line. Now we're getting a green candle, but negative, negative. Doesn't look good for a trade yet. Google showing good relative strength on the day. Google, we did buy some Google today. We are negative still here on your 50, but just slightly. All it would take is breakout price of this. Call it anything. If you see Google over 94, this is a nice green engulfing candle at the moment. Let's go to a 15-minute chart and see the strength. Here's your open candle, gaps down, showed that it had strength. Pushed over top of this, it should be on watch. Now, green candle, here's your consolidation dip that rests on the previous top right here. You see this wick that goes to the previous top and then takes out this top of this candle. This is where we took an entry, 92.50 break. And we've already been buying Google. So it wasn't really like, oh, gotta flush into this. No, it was just like, okay, add to the position a little bit. It looks pretty good. If it can take out this, like we said, it wanted to. It wanted to. At one point, this was full green engulfing. If it can take out the top of this price again, that's going to show good strength. You got a gap fill up here for first out up here at 95.25, and then after that, this should show pretty good strength. It's been trading inside of this channel. Now let's see if it can just trade inside this channel and break over top of that channel is what you want to see. Google showed good strength. Dino, Dino looks pretty good. This is breaking over top of that channel right there. Not even showing any type that it wants to go down there. Goes on a run, builds a U shape. We are getting ready to go positive. Let's go to a 15-minute chart on Dino. This looks pretty good, guys. You got a nice uptrend that should be able to sustain. You just set a new high on the day, broke over top of day's high wick, and now previous high, potential fallback, which meets up at that 94 or 54 flat. So if I move this up just a little bit, you're right there at 54 flat. So 54 flat, you're looking for buyers to come in. This is one that we threw on watch. We seen that it had this huge spike, opens down, boom. Now let's go to a daily chart on Fidelity National Information Services, FIS. You can see we are positive. You go positive, positive, looks pretty good, rested on day's high. Now you get this big gap down to the EMA where you have good volume come into the stock. So a lot of indecision here, but we are positive, positive. It's one that we're going to keep on watch. If it can take out day's high, that would, we are going to be interested in this because that is previous resistance over here. Boom, if this can go on a run, build a U shape. Potential stop if you already have an entry on this, you can give it a little bit below that 70. I would say 69.90 just to be safe because this is a nice green candle. You're expecting the volume that came in off of this candle. You do not want this candle to start losing money. So give it about, this meets up about halfway and you're below day's low. It already showed you, hey, this could be breaking out back down to the downside and buyers buying it up. So you want to see this hold above 70. What is it, Ripley? Oh, I know, puppy. What? Do you have to go outside? I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna let my dog outside. And we're back. So yeah, let's we can keep this one on watch. If it can take out this high on 70.70, we can think about taking the trade on this. Like I said, I just threw it on watch because it had some good volume on the day, showing good strength, and not a terrible look on a daily chart. So, my bad, guys. I'm a little short breath. My dog always wants to play when he goes outside. Let me go get a water, and I'll be right back. Whew. Okay, yeah, so we'll keep this one on watch. We'll come back to this one. We just want to see this 70 hold. If 70 can hold, this could turn out to be a trade later on the day. Marps, you don't really get to see much of Marps, but, you know, looks pretty good. It gapped up. It got a 772 gap. About to go positive. We're still negative 35, so wait for true confirmation. You could see some consolidation back to this previous high, but you want to see good volume out this previous high. So a pull back into here, you want to see it start building a U shape right here and a break over top of these highs right here. This one kind of a false breakout, I would say, but over top of this previous day's high right here. This wick, I think that this would get pretty good volume and probably go try to test 8 as it did on this day. You have a seller there at 8, which is kind of the previous low, kind of. So keep that on watch. RRC, another oil play, showed good strength at the open. It gaps down, fills the gap, and shows good strength. Let's go to a 15-minute chart. Yeah, right here, this does not look half bad. So this is the beginning of the day. So here's your gap down. You gap down, you fill the gap. What was the other one that I showed you that was almost the complete opposite of this? Now it's fighting, fighting, fighting. Your breakout price is over top of these wicks, and you're getting full green engulfing, about to go positive, positive. This is going to be one of our trades that we take on live stream if it can show good strength. Got a hold above this 25.75 and set a close above this EMA. Our EMA is currently at 25.65. Yeah, looking for a potential breakout on this. So going to the daily, we're getting close to going positive. Very choppy. Very choppy. This is what oil is going to look like right here. You have a decent uptrend, ascending channel, give or take, and we're looking for a breakout price. This wick does not fill this gap. Would have liked for it to got filled, but 26.50 having out meets up at the previous high, and then you have another gap fill right here and another gap fill right here. So let's go break through the outs. Taking it 25.80 break. First out 2.9%. Second out 8.6%. Third out 14.5%. Not a bad risk reward right there, saying that, even just giving it to the day's low right here, which actually came down and filled the gap. I did not see that. Let's go back to a 15-minute chart. Yeah, look at this, guys. Look at this. This is the type of action you want to see off the gap. Boom. Almost meets it, and good volume on the day. Full green engulfing. You're getting increasing volume, and we still have 7 minutes left on this candle. Does this look like the buyers or the sellers are winning on this candle? Just look at this one candle right here. Just this one candle. Who's winning? Increasing volume right here. About to go positive. About to go positive. Even if it pulled back, you're expecting buyers off at the top of this wick, which meets down to 25.70. So we are going to get ready to load up market on this trade, but I got to see this candle close. If this starts wicking, like it's done multiple times already, and here we go. It's over top of last candle. Now let's see if it can push over top of this 25.80. And it looks like here's a live trade for us, guys. Let's go set up to take this trade. Now at first we're just going to mark it in for a little bit, And then we want to buy the middle of this green candle right here. So there's two ways that you can do this, in my opinion. There's probably multiple ways. You can go for the run price. Well, now your first extension to the downside is below your moving average. So let's pull it up to the bottom of these candles right here. Wait for this candle to close, but you can see your first extension meeting in at the previous highs and halfway through this green candle right here. So right here, any consolidation dips back into this area doesn't look half bad. So we're hoping that the buyers can jump in at that point. And here is our 2580. So let's mark it in for this because this does not look half bad. RRC, range resources, and let's just start a little entry position. Nothing crazy. We're just going to mark it in and we're going to keep watching it because it looks like, could be a little bit early to the party here. Yeah, 5 minutes left on this candle. This could easily start wicking. But I'm going to start a market position right here just for an example. And we're going to watch that one play out. We'll come back to it. CTRA, pretty good strength right here. I think I seen this candle wick put a stop loss in at the bottom of 25 and said, if I get stopped out, good learning experience. Could have got FOMO'd in a little bit, but red engulfing candle on this. This does not look good right through your trend line. You have this gap fill that can hold. It's possible that this could start turning positive, but I think we might even just cut this position in general. Doesn't really look that good. Jazz, day chart, not quite there yet. Goes on a run, builds a U shape. How many of them have I showed you? This looks bearish. This looks double top, and I have a downtrend set. You see the downtrend? Boom. Double topping to the downtrend and previous resistance. This looks good for continuation down. Trip. Meeting in with the downtrend. XL, we've been keeping on watch. We said that this is going to be a short if this can break down this price. Had 3 false breakouts. Now it's still above your EMA at 1636. But this was a breakdown of this price because of this gap. We gap up. We filled the gap. Now if it does it again, you're expecting the buyers not to be there and stop losses to be kicking in. Well, we haven't gotten that yet. Let's go to a 15-minute chart and see if there is any. My bad, headset came out. And on the day, let's just clear out the whole chart. My bad, guys. It looks sloppy, I know. On the day, you're going positive. This has relative strength. Did the Nasdaq catch a bid while I was taking the dogs out? Let's go. Where's our TQ? TQ, the TQ still looks weak. You're still way down here negative. It looks weak. And for what were we watching? We were looking at, oh man, I'm way out of sorts right now. What were we just looking at? XL. Good strength on the day. We go back to the daily. And how many of them have I showed you guys? Goes on a run, builds a U shape right here. Why is it strong on the day when the Nasdaq looks relatively weak? That's what you should be wanting to ask yourself. Could be early entries. We're still slightly negative, but I could easily see this turning positive. Wait for the confirmation wick over top of this high. 1650 break is the top of this wick, give or take. We wicked to it already once today, so I'm sure if I go to a 15-minute chart, you can see here is your wick to it on the day. So we open up, we gap down, shaved bottom. I love a good shaved bottom. Runs, fails to hold your EMA. Now you set a higher low. Is it going to set a higher high? So this is your higher high from the previous top right there. So if it can push over 1644, it's a catalyst for potentially your 1650 break. I see we got 3 watchers. Not bad. Do you guys got any tickers you want me to go over? Or I'm just going to keep going over the watch list here. Yeah, feel free to throw a ticker and I will do analysis. I'll take priority over that. Trip looks bearish on the day. Not messing with it. MSGM. Now, we've just held this one on watch. How many of them have I showed you? Goes on a run, builds a U shape. Well, you can already see right here, it's trying to form this uptrend. Wait for the breakout price above this 450. go figure that this wick top right here meets in at 450. Wait for confirmation, you're still negative. If you get a break at that 450, this is going to start sloping up positive, and then you can think about taking an entry on this. But good volume came into this. You know, it looked pretty bearish down here when we're flirting with this EMA, but 350 holds. We never said it closed below 350. 4 watchers now, not bad. Like I said, guys, if you guys got a ticker you want me to watch, throw it in there and I will do analysis on it. THO broke over top of this downtrend. You know, your entry, you don't really have an entry. Let's just square the chart. Oops. Let's just square the chart. On this day, you gap up, you just went positive right here, right? You know, realistically, you gap up, you could have had your early entry, playing with fire, bought the gap. You get a great extension, gap up, okay, let's put an order in off this gap. Okay, the gap doesn't get filled. Let's zoom out. Give or take right in there, maybe it's a little bit high, but look where we gap to. Look at this, guys. Boom. This is already telling you, hey, back test to the top end of the downtrend. We said it closed below that. Okay, now we filled this gap and it's starting to turn green. Let's look at a 15-minute chart here. 15-minute chart, relatively strong compared to the market. We already looked at the TQ. The Nasdaq is weak. 3 nice candles right here. Good volume increase at the end of the day. Buyers bought it up, and now we're holding above 83.33. Trying to confirm this uptrend. Right there, you see we have an uptrend on the day. Nice green candle. You'd like to see multiple candles though. Wait for the breakout of 48.50 and see if this uptrend can hold. Potential trade option right there. BPOP, same thing. Nasdaq is weak. Why is this showing relative strength? We look at a day chart. Broke through the channel. What do we have marked right here? This gap. What do we fill today at the open price? Boom, fills the gap. Now we're setting closes above potentially setting up to set a close above 66.25. GILD, nope. Nope, looks weak. Uranium quietly on a green day right here. Oh, it's still red. I mean, it gaps down. But what do? We filled the gap. Filled the gap. Now let's see where this downtrend meets up at. Still in the middle of this range. Just a simple wedge pattern right here. Watch this wedge pattern play out and then think about taking the trade. OXY. I mean, showing decent strength. I'm sure there's some sort of trend line built in right here. Is it going to respect the top channel? Are we going to go on a run, build a U-shape? We're still just slightly negative, but these oil plays, do not sleep on these oil plays. Oil showing relative strength on the day. You can see we're starting early signs, breaking day's high right here. You see this? This is live right here, guys. This is live. Oil, you could be taking a break out of this top wick right here, but it wouldn't pass the rules. We're still negative right here. Let's wait for some consolidation. Retest in the middle of this green candle and break over top of this high. And then by that time we should be positive. We can look for this to start respecting this uptrend or respecting the channel. By all means, respect this channel. That does not look half bad. And when you put it in that perspective, I mean, potential runs to the top end of that channel alone is 4%. If this runs to the top end of this channel, that's your perspective right there, top end of the channel. This is going to go positive. We are already positive right here. Oil is showing you the strength. PSX, same story, guys. Respecting the channel. How many of them have I showed you where it goes on a run? It builds a U-shape. What if this tests the top end of the channel? That U-shape is going to be looking very decent. We're just slightly negative, slightly positive on the 25. If this slopes up positive, we're looking to potentially take a trade. VLO, Oil. Dog scratching. Look at these oil plays, man. Higher lows. Getting ready to break days high. Good volume. You're getting ready to go positive. VLO, not looking half bad. Now you could be saying, hey, you're buying the top. You're buying the top. You're buying right into a downtrend. How many of them have I showed you? Goes on a run, builds a U shape. Where's your entry on VLO? The day chart will tell you everything. Here's where you break positive on these wicks right here. You gap up, fills the gap. Easily could have entered here at 128. So longs potentially already in the money, 5.5%. Could they be taking profit with this 15-minute setup right here? Look at this. Look at that, guys. That looks pretty damn good if you ask me. McCormick or McKissick. I don't know why I always want to call us McCormick. A little bit bearish, about to go negative, but started filling that gap. Buyers jumped in before that gap. I'm sure there's some sort of uptrend right there, and there sure is. Look at that. This uptrend goes dating way back over here. Just barcoding sideways. On a day chart, you're hovering positive. You're hovering positive. Let's see if it can show the strength to get back over this 381. A little bit bearish on the day. T-net, still just churning away. This is why, you respect the positive. You have a few outs right here. We have this 76.50 marked. We really think that we can get this gap fill right here, showing decent strength on the day at day's high. So look at the 15-minute chart. As I jump to it, it gaps up. Goes on a run, builds a U shape. Now we're testing these wick highs right here. If it holds above 74, I would expect some consolidation pullback to these previous highs. But if it breaks over 74.08 breakout price, you're going to start looking like a U shape. Pins. Respected the uptrend, double top, or the upside of the channel. Look at the day chart. We already have our outs up there. We've already taken our outs up there. Where's your entry? Gaps up, doesn't fill the gap, tries to show strength, but you're positive. You can take the trade right here. You can take the trade, and especially when it breaks over top of this high. So let's say you waited for the breakout. Call it a 25.50 breakout. The longs are still in the money. Is it going to have the strength to break over top of this channel? That would look pretty dang good, but I like higher. I like the look of higher highs, and I like the look of lower lows. So let's see if this is finally poised for a breakout on pins. These oil plays. Do not sleep on oil plays. Holding sport. Positive under 25. Wait for the 50 to turn positive. Consolidation. Keep barcoding sideways. How many of them have I showed you? Goes on a run. Builds a U shape. This is just a 15-minute chart. Let's go to the daily chart. How many of them? Goes on a run. Builds a U shape. DVN, another oil play. I bet you the oil play is looking quite well. And shocker, pushing over day's high, green engulfing, sloping up, getting ready to go positive. Planet starting to show you like it's going to how many there were a lot of these today. There were a lot of these today that were in these upward channels, and they just completely gapped down below the channel and turned bearish. But you would like them to hold right here. Planet still slightly negative. On the day, it does not look horrible. It's trying to show strength. Let's wait for it to go positive, and we can think about potentially looking at some more of the weed plays. PFE, we said just stay away from it. Just stay away from it. Oh, buy the dip, goes on a run, builds a U shape. Your U shape you'd want it to happen right here. Here's where you go negative. Boom. A little bit of an opportunity. You could say, oh, it's building a nice U shape, but you're negative, negative. And here's your continuation. We've been calling out. This channel has been respected. We got an uptrend down here. Let's watch it come back down to the uptrend. No need to panic on this one. We have the dividend coming up. It could be a catalyst for a turnaround. And that dividend is on the 26th. So we could keep this one on watch. Maybe try to sneak in before this dividend. You know, you do have a gap fill. It looks like a green candle to me, but gap fill at 6%. Coming down to the to the uptrend right here. Let's look at the 15-minute chart. Trying to show strength. Let's wait for this to go positive. Breakout price, top of these wicks, 45.20. OVV, I see higher low. Sloping up, getting ready to go positive. Breakout price, 48.50. Go figure. Oil play, let's look at it. Yep, near day's high, sloping up, getting ready to go positive, positive. I'm shocked that nobody put any tickers in. And that's all we had for the green. That is what is showing relative strength on the board. The cows. Let's take a look at the cows. Don't want it to set close below that. You had a gap fill down here at 46.30. You know, this acted like it wanted to break out with the oil looking the way that it does. I'm not surprised that cows is starting to show a little bit of strength. Let's go look at the TQ real quick, and then we're probably going to call this stream. Yeah, so this is just showing weakness still. Like, way negative, way negative. Let's see if it can get back and retest this 19, but the Nasdaq looking relatively weak, I would say. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers everything. SoFi, we can check in on the SoFi. Now, I stated earlier, how many of them were in this channel and just gapped down right below that channel? SoFi, I still think looks pretty good. We're elevated, positive, positive. You should have been taking your profits at the top end of this channel a little bit here and there, so you should already have a few profits. When do we go positive? Well, here's your 490 break that we took, and break of 5, and here's your back test of 5. Multiple possible entries. So let's say you came to an average price of 5. The longs are still 7% in the money. So I would say looking pretty good. I can see TNet still trying to hold 74. Let's go back to the Fidelity. Now look at this, guys. Still holding 70. Whew. Now we're talking. Oh, what was the other one? RRC. We took a live trade on RRC. Marketed it in. Let's go check back up on that. Oh boy. Oh boy. And you didn't even get your consolidation back into this 25.70. And now we're getting ready to test 26. We are going to be putting orders in at the tops of these wicks. So this is a live trade in action for you. We're back positive. Positive. Nice green candle right there. How many of them? Goes on a run, builds a U shape. Respected the bottom end of this channel, and that is a 26 tap. Can I see 26? Nope, only 25.99s right now on the board. I know you, and you know me. Oh, this was one that we probably got stopped out of. Yeah, we got stopped out of this. We threw a stop in at this 26 break. You know, we'll come back to PSTG. We'll come back to PSTG. We're not too worried about this one. We were kind of going on a limb for this trend line. Looks like this trend line's kind of giving out, but you know, there's multiple ways you can probably set this uptrend. You got decent support right here. Could have paper handed it. Could have set the stop loss under 25.25 or 25.50, give or take. But I don't know. We will see. QDEL, we threw a stop loss in on QDEL. 83.30 looks like I put it. I think that's where I put it. And holding this channel. Had this been a gap down, I think you would have seen a lot of stop losses kick in. Let's go back to that RRC. Oh, yep. Yep. This is in the money. This one looks like it's going to be a pretty decent trade, I would say. Let's go back to the 15-minute chart. Yep, there's your 26 break. So looking at this, here's your run. I want to see pullbacks to this 25.90 and previous high. So let's take that out and see what that looks like. Here's your 25.90, here's your previous high. We want to see pullbacks, we want to find entries into this. But if it wants to keep going, this is why you just throw that market order out there. Now you could have said, hey, it looks so good, why didn't you add some size to it? Let's go back to the daily chart. Nice green candle, but you still have this wick top, and you're still negative. This is early to the game right here. These are the type of entries that I'm looking for. And just still continuation right here. This candle is not over yet. We still have 22 seconds left. I want to see pullbacks into this 25s. You know, if you really wanted to force yourself into the position, you could say 26 flat. I know you, and you know me. And we both know where this is gonna be. Let's look at Fastenal. Fastenal had the earnings. 2610. Just churning away, boys. Google, we can go back to the Google play. How about that? Huh? Goes on a run, builds a U-shape. What did I say? What did I say? Gonna look for this to respect the top end of the channel and build a U-shape right here. And we come back to it, and it's working like a clock. Working like a clock. Fidelity. Okay, we got the breakout over top of this wick. We are positive, back positive. Consolidation pullbacks to this. You know, it looks like it's just gonna go. Another banger of a trade idea for you guys. Oil looking good. Let's go over Tesla. Everyone loves a good Tesla talk. Tesla talk. You know, we do have an uptrend that we want to see hold. Where is my... There we go. Let's pull this back over here. You know, respecting the uptrend. You don't want to see it give up that uptrend, but you do have a gap fill right here, so you could get a wick start to form right here at this 122.70. But if this uptrend stops, I'm expecting this to get back in this channel range. So on these days right here, you're trading inside this range right here. If it starts flirting with the bottom of that range, you got shorters that are saying, hey, 113. More specifically on Tesla, you're still pretty decent in the negative here. You're still negative on you're not even positive on a 25 yet. You got a downtrend. Don't even worry about it. If you can get to this downtrend, that looks pretty good. Let's go to the previous day. What do we have marked right here, guys? What do we have marked? I know you guys love Tesla, and you know, it's funny. I got a friend that has Tesla, and I told him that it's not time to buy it yet. Well, now it's running up. It just so happens he sends me a message opening day. We're gonna go to a 15-minute chart, and we're gonna look at this. So here's your gap. Boom. And here's the start of the gap. That's all I did. Literally all I did. That's the only reason why that was there. You can mark this gap. You can mark this gap. But you are negative. Negative. Let's go to the 15-minute chart. Where do we open yesterday's price? We open right inside of that range. Boom. Hard rejection. You guys see that? And now we're churning away. This looks bearish on the day still. Way negative, showing no strength. This looks like the Nasdaq. This looks exactly like the Nasdaq. Let's go look at it. TQ. Does something look familiar there? There's your gap up. Boom, 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 boom. This looks bearish. Now, can this try the fight back up at this 19s? Sure, it can definitely do that. But you have an uptrend or a downtrend right here. that you're going to have to fight through. Right at 19 flat, which is the price that you want to see it get over. Can it break through that? You know, it very well can. Let's go back to our live trades and then we're going to wrap this up. So, okay, here we go on RRC. This was the live trade we took for you guys. Look at this. I just showed you the Nasdaq. Does not look strong at all. You got a decent channel. Goes on a run, builds a U-shape. How many of them have I showed you? Here's our gap fill. Boom, wicks right to it. Shows good strength. Doesn't break above our EMA. Now you get the break over top of these wicks. This is where we marketed in, and we said we want to see pullbacks to this area. We had an order in at 25.75. Does not get filled. Now this extends. Now I want to see this wick start to form. Where is this wick forming? At 26 flat. 26 flat right there. Exactly what you'd want to see. We already said we want to see pullbacks into this 25.90 to up the position, and then previous high 25.83. Looks pretty good. Let's go to our other trade that we've identified for today. And what does it do? Goes on a run. Now you can early signs of a U shape right here. We said that we wanted to see it take out this wick high. Okay, it did. If we want to go into this order, let's try an order at 70.50. Those whole quarters, respect the quarters, respect the dollars. What is this wick up to? The next quarter, 70.75. You guys see what I'm looking at right there? So if this does pull back, let's just put an order in off this 70.50 just in case this just throws a wick down there. But this doesn't look that bad, so let's do another live trade. FIS. Just a entry position, nothing crazy. We want to see this play out still. But more importantly, let's go back to the daily chart real quick. Why do we like it? Here's your break positive on this day. You have a false breakout over top of that. You're expecting buyers to be on the top end of that, but you don't want to see it get below your moving average and these recent lows over here. What do we hold at? At support, and the volume comes in. We're still positive. We're looking for a breakout price above this 72. If you can break above 72, let's clear the chart out. To start off, you have an uptrend. 2, a parallel channel. 3, you have an exit. You can have an exit at the previous high as well. After that, you got the next high and the previous low, which dates back all the ways over here. So call this all potential outs, and then you can hold the rest for the bacon. So let's take this trade. Let's look at the trade. We want to enter in at 70.50. First out, 5.5%. Second out, 12.75%. Previous high, 20% potential return. Now, let's say you can run this to the previous low. Boom. Here's a gap fill, 41%. I mean, it could respect this channel for as long as you know. Like, you have no idea. But I like how it goes positive, and it's showing relative strength on the day. So let's go back to the 15-minute chart. Goes on a run, builds a U-shape. How many of them have I showed you? Where does this wick come down to? 70.63. We might not even get a chance to buy this thing. Let's just buy a tracker share for this stream. We're going to go ahead, mark it into this, and just watch it. And we're going to keep that order in. Oh man, I'm going to have to replace that order. Okay, so we marketed it in. What's our fill? Our fill price is 70.71. Current price that we're at. Okay, now let's replace that order. FIS. And let's put an order in. Let's potentially add a little bit of size. And we'll go a few shares here, and we'll do 70.50 because I think it looks pretty decent. We'll actually move it up to 70.55. Okay, so there's where we add a little bit of size, and after that we kind of just want to see it hold. We want to see it continue the range and see if this U shape is going to pan out. Potential stop loss for a new position, 70 flat, so you go a little bit below that. and this just so happens to meet up about halfway through this green candle. As soon as it breaks halfway through this, boom. Now if I pulled this to the top end of the wick, this is meeting in right at the previous low, so call it halfway in between there. Right there. There's your halfway. You don't want the people that bought this candle to be losing money. That is just something that you don't want to happen. So let's keep this one on watch. Let's go back to RRC and see if we got filled on that order. RRC 2610, working like a clock. What did I say, guys? You break through that 26, throw an order off that 26 if you're missing out on it, and then here's where you want to see it dip down to. You might not get that dip. This is very positive on a 15, very positive, or on a 50 commodity and a 25 commodity. Looks pretty good for a continuation. Respect at the bottom end of the channel and the gap. Goes on a run, builds a U shape. How about that nice little barcode right there? Breakout over top of that price. Looks pretty good, guys. A couple decent live trades for you, and I hope you guys are learning something. Is there any tickers that I do see we have 2 viewers? Is there any tickers that any of you guys want me to talk about? I will gladly talk about anything. Working like a clock. RRC oil still looking beautiful. Look at that, guys. Look at that. When I first pulled the stream up, oil was down here, full red engulfing, looked terrible. What was the first thing I said? We're still elevated positive, positive. This is good relative strength on the day. I would expect people that missed out on this run to say, hey, oil on a dip, let's take a chance at it. And we are testing the downtrend. This is what I said I wanted to see happen. So let's go to the daily chart. You could say, oh, yesterday, full red engulfing. We're still positive. We're still positive, positive on oil. Now look at the green engulfing that's taking place right here on oil. Respecting the channel until it doesn't. What happens if oil pushes over 82? Then, specifically, I got a breakout price 82.50 right here. And we're testing this downtrend. Let's see how it works. It has my bad mic went out. Oil, a lot of strength on the day. This is what we've been eyeing. Now let's go look at the Nasdaq real quick. This is Nasdaq 100. Let's go to the NQ so we can see volume. Okay, this is what we said needed to happen for the market. We said, let's go back to the daily chart. We said it was weak at the moment, but you can see we eked positive. So anyone that took this positive break, let's go look at it. On this day right here, you break positive. This wick right here. Anyone who bought this wick right now is potentially losing money. You do not want to see the people that bought, the swing traders, the momentum traders, you do not want to see them losing money. So NQ below, you can call it 11,250. Potential stop losses in, and I have marked 11,230. Potential stop losses put in place, and they're saying, hey, this could be rolling over, test this support again, that it's tested multiple times. So you could say trading in this range. But if it can catch a bid and push over top of this price, then goes on a run, builds a U-shape. How many of them have I showed you? Goes on a run, builds a U-shape. This is what I want to see happen with the Nasdaq, and then I would expect pretty much everything to be working pretty good. But on the daily, the 15-minute, this is what needed to happen. You needed to get back over top of this range. I like to go off of TQ because I can actually remember the numbers. If I got to say something that's over 10,000. So the TQ, yeah, still looks a little bit bearish. It's got to get over this 19. 19 is meeting in with the downtrend. Boom. There's your downtrend. I would say that the TQ needs to test 19. So still relatively weak. You're far negative, far negative. You want to be where the strength is. The strength is not in the Nasdaq names right now. There's no question about that. RRC, working like a clock. Boom. Beautiful live trade for you guys. Open. Pretty sure we're stopped out of open. Weak. Microsoft. Got a gnarly gap fill right here. How many of them have I showed you? Goes on a run, build a U-shape. Got a nice gap fill right here. Let's see if it can start building a U-shape. You know, if you gave up on Microsoft, you needed to do it at the beginning of the day. Now, if you're stuck bag holding, you know, if you, man, it's tough because it should act as pretty decent support right here. You got a confirmed higher low. You know, if it gets below this trend line, you're selling at support. You know, Microsoft, it never went positive. This was your tell on Microsoft. It failed to go positive, yet people putting stop losses at day's low. It opens down here. It tries to fill the gap. Too many sellers. Just too many sellers. The strength for the blue chips is Google. And we took a trade on Google today. It wasn't a live trade, but we took the trade on Google. Why? Because it showed strength. It showed strength. It opened low, shaved bottom, goes bullish. 15-minute. Let's look at the 15-minute. What did we say when it was up here? It's probably going to respect this channel. Let's see if it can go on a run, build a U-shape. Well, now we're at the tail end of this U-shape. Let's see some volume come into Google. How about that? Let's just break through the top end of this channel. That would be lovely. Looking back at the daily, green engulfing candle. We like green engulfing candles, and Google has the relative strength. It looks pretty good. Fastenal, we stated that they had earnings today. You know, always be careful with stocks going into earnings. But I looked at the earnings. Had a couple beats, looks really good, and they are estimated more growth. Nice wick bottom here, so you do have buyers. The shorts, they were probably feeling really good at the beginning of the day. Now they're kind of in that stand still right there. If we just mark these lows, we're holding above the uptrend. Short-term uptrend, of course. Longer term, you're just channeling right here. You want to see it confirm and just get some confirmation right here. Now, if I pulled this uptrend all the ways over here, you can see you want that to hold. Is that going to hold? You know, more than likely we could pull that right there. Looks pretty good. Is it going to respect this uptrend? You know, it has a pretty decent uptrend right there, to say the least. So let's look at a 15-minute chart. So you can see, beginning of the day, boom, 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 3 candles, right? 3 red candles. You're focused on the next 3 candles. Goes on a move, builds a U-shape. This is just an upside down. Boom. Goes on a run down, bent fishing rod happening right here. But what happens if it takes out this price? Anyone who went short right here is going to be feeling a little bit iffy. But you're far negative and far negative. I would say that this looks like it's going to roll over and test this low again. Are the buyers going to step back in? Right here, you see the buyers come into the stock. That's what pushes it up. Now, the real test is right here. So, Fastenal, need to see that. I know you, and you know me. You know, still holding above previous wick right here. We still have that order in. 70.55 is where we got the order in. Let's go check and see if that got filled. When did I put this order in? Oh, it didn't get filled. Oh man, that would have been something, huh? What was the low of this candle? 70.58. See, this is what I'm talking about here, guys. I was a little bit greedy. I was 3 cents greedy. Threw the order in. Man, sometimes you just wish you could go back and just say, hey, it's only 3 cents. Let's put that order up just a little bit. But now that I can see this, let's put that order up to 70.60. You know, we are flirting with this negative right here. I just kind of want to get filled on it. You know what I mean? So let's move that order up 5 cents. It's 5 cents, right? So 70.60. We still have our 70.71 market order for one share, taking the live trade, and we're sitting 1 cent out of the money. So, maybe I'm setting you guys up for failure here. Who knows? But let's go back to a daily chart. I still think that this looks pretty good. Really good volume came into this. Realistically, you don't want to see it start breaking below that 70. But I do not have a stop in place, but we are going to be monitoring this. And let's see if this 70.60 can fill right here. I might even think about adding another order. But let's see how this acts, because this is about to go negative. We can always mark it in for more. 70.60. Let's see if we got filled. Yeah, I'm not even going to lie to you guys. I didn't hit confirm on that order. It's still at 70.55. Let's move that back up. Let's hit a nice refresh on this. My acting very funny. Oh, I got filled at 70.55. Let's go. We're in, boys. I didn't move the order up. We're sitting at 70.60. And I got filled at 70.55. So let's see if this can work for us. I think that it has a pretty decent look. And there's our 70.55. This chart is probably just a little bit delayed. Let's see if this can hold this 70.50. Red engulfing down. We got 9 minutes left on this candle. Not the most selling pressure, so nothing to really worry about right now. We're gonna see that. We're gonna watch this one work out for us. 70.53. Honestly, wouldn't want to see it give up that 70.50, but we're going to stay true to this 70 stop loss if it starts really going against us. And we'll put that at the 90. 69.90 is what we'll go at. I know you. Stopped out of some intel early at the bell. I just threw a stop loss in below this wick, so just for some shares. We've already taken plenty of profit. Let's go back to Google real quick because we have new day's high on Google. Beautiful entry on this. Took the break. We said that we wanted to buy Google. We've already been buying Google in this channel, and now we're starting to see it pan out. Let's see if this can turn positive, and let's see the buyers come in on Google. HDK looking like a red engulfing candle. Watch out. Watch out. Kroger, we said, hey, your breakout price is up here. We're not going to force into this until this goes positive. Now it's starting to look like a short. Let's see if this can get good action at the bottom here. Light, surprisingly, there were a few of them out there that had this upward looking channel, and they just gapped down completely below it. You do have the wick top. Red selling pressure on this, but there is a wick bottom right there. I can see a little bit of wick buying right there, so not entirely worried about that. We had a pretty great entry. Break of 54. So, I mean, we've already taken the profits we want on light, so let's just keep watching that. Lumen, we said that it's probably going to need to hold 5. We're already out of this position. We just want to see this start building a U shape. LYB, already had our profit takes at the previous high. We were holding for this 96 gap. We never got there. 94.50. I think my best out is on like a 92.90, somewhere in that day, I believe. Marps oil. Look at this. Marps actually up 1 cent since last time we looked at it. Let's take a look at the 15. Just churning sideways. Oil. Keep these oil plays on watch. RRC. Let's go back to RRC. Get a quick little update on that. RRC holding 26. Where is our market in at? Boom. Looked very good right here and worked like a clock. Here's your consolidation. You wouldn't want to see it break underneath this 26, but if it does, we are going to be potentially looking for a buy if I see the buyers come in this 25.90 or potentially this 25.80 as we're getting closer to our entry. Now, here's the golden entry. You don't want the people that got that golden entry to start losing money. I'll tell you that much. The people with the late entry, that's fine. They can lose a little bit of money because they might be risking a little bit more. But, I think this looks pretty good. Let's see if it can hold 26. Sleep number. Sold shares yesterday at the break of the channel, or the break of the downtrend, and we're still holding the piece. This is a good example of some that, broke through that uptrend, gap down right to it. Now let's see the buyers come in. We're still elevated, positive, positive. Doesn't look half bad. But where's our entry, guys? I mean, this is when we go positive. We've been milking these profits right here. This is the day you go positive. Look at that. Didn't even have the strength to get down to the gap fill, which we had an order off of, by the way. But, the back test, oh man, it just looked pretty good. There was so much potential out in the stock market last week that just looked like this. And some work out, some don't. Like I said, if you missed out, I stopped out of multiple positions today. The ones that showed weakness, I got out of. The ones, especially the ones that I hadn't got the opportunity to take profits on. The ones I took profits on, I was okay with them pulling back. I'm not that worried about that. But that was kind of my strategy going forward there. Smith & Wesson was a perfect example. We took entries off the bottom end of this channel. This is when I was very aggressive, saying, this is a pretty decent deal, and why did we take the trade? Look at Smith & Wesson. Left leg, double bottom, extended right leg, back test the neckline trade. Meeting in at a gap fill. We had an entry. I'm not going to say I timed this bottom perfect. We had entries off the gap. Boom, 9 flat. We were buying 9 flat. And then we were buying this channel. We said this channel, I think that this channel looks pretty good. Let's give it a shot. Try it at a neckline. And this is the extension. Took a few pieces off. But I think Smith & Wesson looks pretty good. We want to see this churn back, go on a run, build a U-shape. The U-shape could transpire over here into February even, and we could be talking about breakout price at 10 later on. SWN, oil play right here with weakness. One of the only oil plays probably with weakness. We don't have a position, but let's go back. Let's look at the daily chart. Not even close to positive, and let's see this pan out a little bit more. Let's take a look at Marathon briefly. Holding above that 27. You want to talk about something that's just barcoding. Now we're getting green engulfing. You got this 25.88 gap fill that shorters are probably saying, hey, I can get it down to there. So look at a 15-minute chart. Oil. This is what oil looks like today. Boom. New high. Consolidation. Let's see if it can hold 27. Looks pretty damn good. NRG, we flirted around with it a little bit. We said we wanted to respect this uptrend. Boom, there's your uptrend. You meet down to it, and now here's where you're at. Gap down from the acquisition. Can it hold this price? With the small amount of position size on this, I'll probably just stop loss this at 30.45. If it gives that price out, we can always buy this back at a higher price. Sorry about that. I was talking to my dad. Yeah, I see we have 2 people in here watching. It's been around 2 people pretty much the whole time. Before we end the stream, do you guys got anything that you want me to look at before we end the stream? Let's go take a look at, and we're in the money. We took a 70.71. We basically just said, hey, this looks so good that we could mark it in right here, knowing that we're probably going to get some consolidation. Where do we come down to? We get filled in on our 70.55. Looked like full red engulfing to the downside. And now, just like a clock, churn into the upside. Breakout price 70.77. Now we are actually in the money on our tracker share. Looks very good for continuation. 70.74. You guys are seeing it firsthand right here. Live trade. Due diligent in a bloody market. Let's go look at the TQ. Let's go look back at the TQ. You would say, oh, there's no way there's anything that's relatively strong with this gap down continuation. And we stayed true to our rules, and we took 2 live trades, both of them in the money. Let's go back to RRC. Boom, this could be your consolidation right here. This is what we were talking about. Let's throw an order in off 25.90 and see if we can get filled. We have 45 seconds left, decreasing red volume. I would say this looks pretty good for an ad. We only had an entry level position at this breakout, and we're looking to up this position a little bit. So let's go and throw an order in. You know, I would say this looks fairly good. We're actually going to mark it in for a few shares. Let's mark it in first. Make sure we get the fill. Let's go look at our order and see what our fill was on that. We got a 25.92.3 fill. So now let's throw an order in at the top high. So we got our fill for this first line right here. Let's put our order in 25.80. Let's go a little bit above. Let's go 25.85 and let's up this position just a little bit, because we want to make sure we get our position filled if this wants to have some continuation. So let's put our order in 25.85. We're at 25.89 right now. Let's see if we can get filled on this order and continue building this position up a little bit. I gotta switch over to another account. Cause I know you and you know me. Switching accounts is what I want to see. I see. Let's mark it in on a few shares on this account. Just a small entry position. Then we're also going to throw in an order for another little piece at that 85. So limit order 25.85. And there we are. We're marketed in on this account. And let's go update a couple things on this account. I think I threw a few stop losses in. I just want to see which ones got filled, which ones didn't. Surprisingly, MRVI held above the stop. Tilray held above the stop. Shit, get out of here. Where's my stop at? 288. So we got a 288 stop, holding on by a thread, 4 cents on the Tilray right there. Let's see if that can hold. So RRC, we did continue to up that live trade right here. Oh, and just like that, already in the money just a little bit right there. My market order on this account came in at 89s. So we got 25.89s with an order in off 25.85, and let's see if that can get filled. Cause I know you and you know me. What was I going to look at? I had something in mind that I was just going to do on this account. What was it? Oh yeah, this account is the one with a bit of Fastenal in it. So let's go take a look at Fastenal again. Like I said, looks weak. Let's put a stop in. If we get stopped out, you know, we'll take the loss. We'll think about buying it back again later. Ripley, you gotta lay down. Come here. I know. He left you. It's okay. Ripley, go lay down. Go lay down. Fucking dog. Fang, this was an energy play. Oil play right here. Same story, guys. What is showing strength in the market today? XL kind of giving you that bent fishing rod. I don't know if this looks primed, but we are positive. Like I said, this is probably going to be a trade for another day. Goes on a run. Can it build that U shape that we're looking for? We're looking at breakout price above 1655. 1650. If it can get to 1650, it probably looks pretty good for continuation. Oh no, let's go to the top movers. See if there's anything new that's moving. And Google just churning away, guys. This wasn't a live trade, but we talked about it right at the open that we took the 92 break above this high. 92.50. I think my fill came in at 48. So, yeah, that's what we're looking at right there. And RRC, let's see if we can get filled on this 25.85 right here. It's got a little bit more to move down, but I do like that it has this good volume come in. It has a little bit of selling pressure right here, but that selling pressure does not exceed the buying. That is what I would like to see right there. Oh no. Dino, continuation. What did I say? Oh, we called this out beginning of stream. A 54 break right there. And look at the continuation. Goes on a run, builds a U shape. Nice uptrend. You can take breakouts right here if you really wanted to. Above 55 break probably. I said goes on a run, U shape on a 15-minute chart. How about this one? Goes on a run, builds a U shape. Potential out at the previous wick low right here. 60 flat. Potential run right there. Like a clock, 10%. First out. You know, there's probably other outs in there if you really wanted to, but that looks pretty good. Like a clock, guys. Fidelity National Information Services. Whew, right through 71. Live trade took for you guys right here. Are we thinking about selling this today? Hell no. Could this wick up here? Very easily, but we're going to be greedy and we're going to hope for a break. You know, we already wicked above this 72. Let's see if we can get frisky here. Live trade. Look at that increasing volume. Where's our entries? Beautiful entries right here. Cause I know you. Tesla catching a little bit of a bid. Let's see how it acts at this 2680. Oil, a little bit of consolidation. Look at the keep oil on watch. Look at this. This is how you draw it up right here. You break for a new high. You put wicks into the previous high. That's how you draw it up. That is how you draw it up. And did we get wicked in on that 85? We sure did. We're wicked in 85, 25, 85. The same time oil is backtesting the previous high. My oil play triggers me in. Let's clap it up for that one, guys. Come on. Putting on a show for you guys. Building a nice U shape right here. Goes on a run, builds a U shape. Exactly what you're looking for. I know you and you know me. CTRA. Getting ready to go positive. Why is this showing strength when the market is showing weakness? That's what you got to ask yourself. Can this eventually turn positive? We're talking about 25-50 breaks probably. Here's another oil play. Not quite positive yet, so a little bit lagged behind. EOG, same story, a little bit lagged behind. Let's look at a 15-minute here. How about that? Breakthrough. Let's see if this can trigger previous high. Probably decent orders. If I wasn't putting oil orders out already on other stuff, you know, doesn't look half bad. Denbury, same. Still a little bit negative right there. What else we got? You know, that's what we got for strength on the day. You want to be in the names that are showing strength. Now, this is going to start working against me a little bit. I want to see this start turning green, and we can maybe mark it in for a little bit more size right here. One other thing to worry about here as well. I'm going to show you guys. Take the bottom to the top, top to bottom. This could be looked at as rejection, but we did set a close above that final extent or retracement. This is a retracement. Here's your move down. Here's your retracement. But I think that this still looks pretty good. You still have a pretty solid uptrend right here. We could look to get aggressive and up the position a little bit, but let's just clear the chart out. Start fresh. What do we have in store here? We have a downtrend. We have an uptrend. You know, you can move this uptrend however you feel. Right there. We have a upward channel. You could say that this is a secondary wedge that it's trying to form right here. But let's just keep it parallel. Let's just keep it parallel just like that. And is it going to be able to show the strength to get to the top end of that channel? Let's zoom out. We have a downtrend. We have an uptrend. This uptrend's broken. Next high, potential run, maybe testing that 50. If it can break out the direction that we want it to, of course. But keep in mind that I'm taking this trade because I wanted to break over top of this wick. We're still negative. It does not pass the rules to take this trade. Could this get rejected and start? It's already showing you a little bit. You know, this is potentially a bent fishing rod. Here's your rod, and that fish on the line is potentially trying to pull it back into here. So do not just blindly go into this. I do not have any relative size in this at all. We're just trying to get solid orders out there. Do we feel okay with holding this at the very moment? Yes, I feel okay holding this at the very moment. You're still positive, above your moving average, and your moving average is above that quarter, that 25.75. So we have orders in right there. This low wick came down to 83s. If we see good action off 25.80 and this starts to build a U shape, we can potentially look at upping this position if we wanted to. Still got 2 viewers. I appreciate you guys holding strong. So we will keep monitoring these 2 trades. If I see either one of you, I'm holding both of you guys accountable. If I see either one of you guys leave the stream, we're probably going to call the stream for the day. And we'll probably have a stream later tonight. I don't work tonight, so we will probably do a live stream later tonight. But what are you guys looking at? You know, you guys have just been hanging out in the stream. You know, that's fine. More than welcome to do that. But if you guys got any tickers that you want me to look at, I will gladly take a look at them and share my 10 cents on the matter. MPC, another oil play, showing good strength. Expect orders in off the previous high. We just went positive. Let's go over to our daily chart. Goes on a run, builds a U shape. Could be potential double top coming in right here. Let's see what our retracement is. And we have not set a close above that retracement. What is the catalyst on the day? Do you think it's possible that this green engulfing candle could close higher than what it is? If that's the case, then you know we could be potentially setting a new high on this. A new high breakout price above this high over here. I mean, just for the breakout price, 4.5%. PSX, we said this look. Jesus. I'm sorry, guys. That's just slightly funny to me. Look at this. We called this out for breakout price. If you wanted your early entry, you know, breakout right here. Working like a clock. Come on. You guys kidding me right now? You know when you're talking about something, waiting for something to play out how you want it to play out, and it just doesn't happen. That was early on through this week. I stated that oil, let's go back and take a look at oil. Let's make sure oil is looking good. Still putting that wick into the previous high. We got 2 minutes left on this candle. We said we liked oil. Let's go over to the daily chart. That's a weekly. We said we like oil. Why? Descending channel, uptrend. go to a weekly chart. Left leg, neckline, right bottom, extended right leg that pushes over top of the left leg. Here's your neckline. Call it 74.50. Have a couple closes below that, but oil has a neckline that goes down into this. What are we currently trading above? We're currently trading above the neckline. Look at this. How about that for a green engulfing candle following this red candle right here? Do you think it's possible for this to push over 81.85? If it does it again, I'm pretty sure oil is getting ready to go. Let's go back to the daily chart. How about this? Boom. Just barcoding sideways. Here's your shorter term uptrend. Here's your longer term uptrend. Here is your downtrend. By no means am I recommending to anybody that you should buy right into the downtrend. But what happens if it pushes that downtrend? This is where you get the golden entries. You could say, oh, your golden entry is down here. You telling me this is the golden entry when all it would need to do for you to lose is to give up this wick and you're retesting the bottom end of this channel. You think this is the golden entry. Boom. You're already looking at 8% downside. Then what are you going to do? Are you going to sell? Or are you going to buy more? Well, what happens if that bottom end of your channel gives out? You're looking at potential runs down to the low 60. Now it's not an 8% loss. Now it's a 17% loss. Now what are you going to do? Are you going to keep bag holding it? Come on, guys. Come on. This is what you're going to learn on this channel. You're going to learn how to manage your risk. You're going to learn how to not get overly excited about stuff. Like right now, we're still waiting for the breakout price on oil. We're just starting. We're just getting started on the oil. Oil just went positive right here. We are early to the game. For all I know, this uptrend gives out, and we're talking about oil down here in the low 60s. But let's wait for it to build a nice U shape, and we can talk about taking an entry at the upper 60s. This is what I'm about. I do not want to be in stuff that is relatively weak. Does oil look relatively weak on the day? No, it does not. Looks strong. Google looks strong. You'd think, oh, Nasdaq is taking an L today. Google, there's no way Google could look good. Look at Google. We want to be in the strong names. Plain and simple, guys. Plain and simple. Now, this is a brand new one on the watch list, just trading in this sideways channel. What happens if it pushes over top of this high? You had gap fills up here in the upper 400s. That's a pretty good run, I would say. Sold off quite well. We go positive after faking out right here on this gap up, fills the gap. Gaps up again. Fakes out. What do? We come down, we fill the gap on the money on this wick. What do we do again? We gap up, we tried to fill it, doesn't have the strength. Now it's doing this. Good strength. We want to be in the names with good strength, not the ones that are weak. RRC, like a clock, guys. Like a clock. Where'd we have our orders in? Previous high wick. 85s. 85s. What do? We just got wicked in. We're in the money. We've had 3 entries. All 3 of the entries in the money. We want to be in the names that are strong. Like a clock. How about Fidelity National Information Services? We took the break. We bought the dip. The 70.55 got triggered almost on the money. We had 70.55 orders in. On the money. Wicked in just like that. Working for us. We are in the names that are strong on the day. There's no question about it. Can these names turn and get strength? Yeah, they can. No question. But are they strong right now? That has decent strength. Zoom. It looks like it respected the uptrend. Let's go to a daily chart. Here's your uptrend. Looks like it's going to set a close above 67. Wait for this to turn positive. Probably a banger right there. Just click on something random. The most golden watch list you guys will ever find in your day. Right here. Tilray. Magically, we haven't got stopped out of Tilray yet. I wonder why. You got your moving average here at 293. Let's give it a little bit of room down to the downside. We got an uptrend right here. I might even lower this. I don't want to get wicked out of this now. This doesn't look half bad. Early to the game, still negative. Let's see if this can go on a run, build a U shape. How many of them have I showed you about that? I know the one oil play that we don't have a position in. Looking weak. What happens when oil? Now it's looking strong. You want to talk about early entries to the game? You're playing with fire with it by all means, but 565 break doesn't look that bad. It gaps down, fills the gap on the first candle. Now here's the end of the day. No. Yep, right here. Gaps down, fills the gap right away. Oil's bullish. Why is this oil play bearish? There's reasons for it. Let's go to a daily chart. Where do you gap down? You gap down below your moving average. Stop loss is kicking in. You got people throwing orders in off this gap. It's fought through both of those. Let's see if this can start building a U shape and respecting this channel again. You have a nice wick for buyers. I know you and you know me. PayPal. We already got beautiful entries on PayPal. We already had outs on PayPal, I should have stated. But, yep, a couple early buys, I would say. So we do have entries that are out of the money, but, I think PayPal looks fine. It does have this gnarly gap, so look for retracement back down to this gap potentially. So we will, if we can see it start giving up this 76, we're going to be worried down here. Might take a small hit on PayPal. Okay, that's fine. We already knew that it was coming in on this downtrend. Let's see it trade sideways. We actually don't have a confirmed higher low. We wick below that. RRC churning like a clock. Look at that, it looks so beautiful. Man, you guys are just hanging in there, huh? 2 viewers. You telling me that I can't get either one of you guys to mention a ticker? Or is my chat messed up? No, we have no chats. I mean, come on, guys. You guys can throw out a random ticker, and I will go do some analysis on it. Promise I will not make fun of it. I will just be straight to the point, unbiased, and I will tell you what I think about your stock. Come on, someone throw a ticker out there. I'm giving you guys till 12:10 to throw a ticker out there. If there's no ticker thrown out there by 12:10, then we're going to call it for the stream today. I know you, and you know me. PDC starting to churn up, potentially going positive. Another potential oil play. Go figure. Let's go back to the green board. Google. Looked for another high right there, boys. Trying to keep churning away. Fidelity looking good. I'm going to go take a piss. When I come back, I better see a ticker in that chat. No ticker in the chat. You gotta be kidding me. Disappointed. I gotta say I'm disappointed in you guys. But it's alright. Maybe you guys aren't actually even watching. Maybe you just have the stream up and said. PXD. Good strength on the day. These oil plays, man. We are on top of them. We are on top of the oil. Whatever I marked on rig, we came right back down to it. Let's see if it was this. Sure as hell was. Here's your run. Here's your first retracement. Where do we pull back to? Exactly where it's at. To the T. Come on. This is talent. This is a skill. I'm teaching you guys a skill right here. And what do we get? We get 2 viewers. Fidelity catching a little bit of bid to the downside. And okay, let's see if the dip buyers can come back into this. We have a nice wick top right there. We have the wick buyers. We still have buying pressure right there. So Fidelity looks like good for continuation. RRC just keeps churning to the upside. But now we actually are testing the downtrend. Let's see if we can just stay bullish and break right through that. Already got the dividend sellers out of the way. $9.50 or $8.50 to $9.50. So projected year-over-year growth about $100 million in revenue. So call it about 15% or 12 to 14%. BTI, we had this one on watch earlier today. We can see it's showing weakness. It's still strong on the day, but you gap up. This is where you'd expect that breakout. No continuation. Why do we have no continuation? Look at the daily. The daily will tell you everything. Negative, negative. Baba, still good strength. Relatively strong. Yes, the Baba is strong. Alright, no tickers in the chat. It's 12:12. I am going to call it there on the live stream. I thank you guys for tuning in to the stream. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys enjoyed what you watched, and if I didn't get around to what you wanted me to show you, I do apologize, but that is going to call it for the stream. We will see you later tonight for the live stream. Have a good